Have you ever heard of the legend of the licked hand? No? Then get ready, because what you're about to hear will make you look at your dog, your cat, or even that pet you don't know very well, in a completely different way. Imagine being home alone at night and feeling something, cold and wet, licking your hand, comforting, you think, until you realize it might not be your dog. This is exactly how the legend of the licked hand begins, one of the most disturbing stories that circulated in American summer camps since the 1960s. It all started in the United States, more precisely in a small city called Kansas City, Missouri. Young people in summer camps would tell scary stories to frighten each other, but few had as much impact as this one. The narrative was always similar. A teenage girl would be alone in her house or camp cabin, fully trusting her pet dog. At night, when going to the bathroom or her bedroom, she would feel her hand being licked. The dog always slept next to the bed, so it seemed perfectly normal. It was comforting, until the moment the story turned into a nightmare. The classic ending said that, upon noticing something was wrong, the girl would look under the bed or on the floor and find her dog dead, with a message carved behind the door or on the walls, depending on the version, that read, "Never trust the hand that licked." In some versions, the licked hand was neither human nor canine, but someone or something lurking in the house, taking advantage of the victim's trust. It was this sense of vulnerability, the familiar turning unknown, that made the story a true classic of psychological terror. What makes the legend even more terrifying is the way it spread. It moved from summer camps to magazines, horror books, and eventually the internet. During the 1980s, versions of the story appeared on television shows and even in horror fanzines, increasingly detailed and realistic. The Mai accounts were so convincing that many people claimed to have felt the same discomfort in their own homes, with animals that seemingly could not have done it. This created a powerful psychological effect, doubt about what is truly safe inside your home. Some of the most chilling accounts came from people who attended summer camps at the time. A young girl named Emily from St. Louis said, "I was alone in the cabin. My dog slept next to the bed. Suddenly I felt my hand being licked. I thought it was normal, until I realized he was trapped on the porch. I looked under the bed and saw something moving. I will never forget the red eyes staring at me." Another case involved a boy named Thomas who lived in a small town near Kansas City. It was nighttime and my hand was being licked. At first I thought it was my dog, but he was asleep in the living room. I froze, then I heard a low laugh, something that wasn't human. As time passed, even more accounts appeared, always keeping the same disturbing elements: cold hand being licked, dog seemingly incapable of doing it, feeling of being watched. A woman who preferred to remain anonymous reported feeling her hand being licked while studying alone at home during college. I knew no one was there, but the feeling was real. When I looked to the side, I saw a shadow moving on the wall and the air became cold, like the temperature suddenly dropped. I never felt safe in my room again. Curiosities about the legend also make it unforgettable. For example, the name The Licked Hand only appeared in horror books in the 1970s, but oral versions of the story circulated in camps since the 1960s. Some horror authors believe the legend is a metaphor for the fear of the familiar turning dangerous, transforming something trusted in the pet into an invisible threat. The detail that stands out the most is the sense of comfort that turns into terror. Even decades later, the licked hand remains alive. Online horror forums feature recent accounts describing experiences that resemble the original legend. A young woman from Minnesota wrote, "I felt my hand being licked while I slept. My dog was locked in the backyard. The sensation of being watched was intense, and when I looked, I saw something moving in the corner of the room. I had nightmares for weeks." Another case happened to a young man in Ohio. "I was alone in my apartment. My hand started being licked. I thought it was my mind playing tricks, until I felt cold breath on my arm. When I looked, there were marks on the wall. Not human. I ran outside and didn't go back for hours." What keeps this legend so disturbing today is the mixture of familiar and unexplained elements. The dog, a symbol of safety, becomes a source of terror. The licked hand represents human vulnerability, the fear of the unknown inside a space that should be safe. It is exactly this feeling that makes, even years later, many people continue to tell the story at parties, camps, or online. Today, the licked hand has also gained modern adaptations. Some reports claim that security cameras captured strange movements near the bed, shadows that don't correspond to anything human, or subtle sounds of breathing or licking with no apparent source. The legend evolved, but the essence remains the same. You can never fully trust what seems familiar. And if you've made it this far and still feel a chill down your spine, know that you are not alone. The licked hand is more than just a scary story. It is a test of our deepest fear, trust betrayed, the familiar turning strange, and the realization that sometimes we are more vulnerable than we imagine. So next time you feel your dog's paw or hand on yours at night, maybe pay a little more attention. Just to be safe. And if you had the courage to listen to this story until the end, leave your like and subscribe to the channel, because only the brave make it this far. And look, another video is appearing on the screen now, full of mysteries and scary stories. Go check it out, if you dare. Until next time, and watch out for the hand that licks in the dark.